We mapped the cosmic Cold War where the Jedi met the Syndicate and analyzed the master plan, the motive, and the wicked grit. From Gotham's gritty alleys to the throne room on Apocalypse, unleashing lore, heavy knowledge from the serpent's verbal exodus. Welcome to the Villainz Lair podcast. Welcome to the Villainz Lair podcast.
And what's up, everybody, on this Tuesday afternoon? Welcome into the Villainz Lair. I'm your host, Ryan Yunt, and I am joined by my guy, Alvin Rueda. How are you, bub?
What up, G? And thank you for letting me be on this freaking magnificent news. This is like, I'm finally back. I'm back. I like this. I like the feeling.
Yeah, man. You're no stranger, obviously to fandom and geek culture with some of the things you've done in the past. Let the people know, like, what have you done over the years in this industry?
Oh, I'll let him know, Ryan. I'll let him know. First off, man, Stan Lee. I sat with Stan Lee for like a good 20 minutes. Like me and him, a couple of photogs of me and him sitting at the table, his press people, and we were just discussing about different things and what I love about the industry. And that was probably one of the most memorable moments of my career covering geek culture and stuff like that. And also when Avengers came out, the first Avengers, I went in the red carpet. It was like a surprise red carpet at New York Comic-Con. And that was like one of the coolest moments ever because I got to talk to like Chris Evans. I got to talk to there was so many people that was there. I'm blanking right now because I was just in awe like during that day.
Did you get the Scarlet interview?
Yeah, exactly. She wasn't there. She wasn't there that day, but Mark Ruffalo was there surprisingly too, and what's his name? I'm blanking out because, like I said, like it's bringing me back memories of being in awe that day at the red carpet. It was just like Loki was there and so many people, and it was great. And that was one of the most things. And also, I interviewed every Hulk possible, so I actually asked him about all the Hulk characters from Luke Ferrigno, and I've been all over the place, man, all over the place.
You got the sick MF Doom collab hat going. What kind of like got you? What was your like introduction? Why would you say you're so into, the comic book superhero genre?
Honestly, man, my fandom started with Super Friends. For those of you who don't know who Super Friends are, people should know. Who's ever in this fandom should know who Super Friends are.
Right.
And that's the OG cartoon, obviously, with the Justice League, and they were the Super Friends, and it was like I loved Superman, Batman at the time, and obviously, you don't see it right now. I used to dress up as Nightwing, called myself Blue Cheese, but Robin was my favorite because I was always a sidekick to my brother, so I was like, okay, I'm Robin. So basically, Super Friends got me into this whole fandom, and from then on, I've just been stuck reading comics, obviously in our age group, I know the death of Superman and thinking it was going to go up in the future.
I think everybody did.
Yeah. But like, as far as that, man, I've been all over, but still sticking with this fandom. No superhero fatigue in this side of the building. So,
nope. No, we will stress that. No super fatigue over here. It's nothing but energy. So let's talk about some of the things, but maybe the rest of the world is having a little bit of super hero fatigue because the numbers for Daredevil Born Again season 2 came out and they're really bad. It's really bad news for Disney and old Hornhead. 50% down, and the ratings are 50% down from last season 1, which I think people were really sort of mixed at best on. What has the season 2 been like for you? Or have you been into it? I went pretty in depth with my thoughts yesterday on the show. Are you into it? Why do you think maybe it's not resonating with fans? What are your thoughts?
Personally speaking, I really am into it. I'm really loving the show right now. Just the dynamic between, Daredevil as a whole right now. he's always Daredevil right now.
Right.
And not to mention Kingpin is a whole new side of Kingpin being the mayor of New York City. And not to mention, all of a sudden, I love Bullseye. Like, I've never loved
Right.
Bullseye as a character. I've never rooted for Bullseye my whole entire life. And all of a sudden, I love this guy. And you probably seen my favorite part of Daredevil this season was that scene with Bullseye in the restaurant.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything else. All I have to say is Bullseye in the restaurant, my favorite scene out of any shows this year. But I don't know why it's down 50%. That's a big number. I mean, could
It's
it
a
be
big drop.
politics? Could be, I mean, a lot of politics, right, are in the show this year. Are people turned off by that kind of stuff? Or my take could be because there's a lot of stuff also going on right now with other shows. I mean, The Boys are going on right now. Invincible is going on right now, among other things. So, like, they just put all these shows premiering around the same season. So maybe people are just waiting to watch it, or they're just waiting till all the episodes come out at the same time. We don't know. I would wait for those numbers to come down, right? I would wait for those numbers to come down when all the shows are intact.
That's a good point, because it's always compared to Netflix, right? Because that's where the show started. And Netflix would drop an entire season. Disney chose to go the episodic weekly route, when Netflix would just give you everything. So that's a good point. I'd never thought about that. You mentioned the politics inside. I talked yesterday about how, like, you know, it's kind of art imitating life. I mean, the similarities are slapping you right in the face with, you know, who the Kingpin reminds us of and who the anti-vigilante task force reminds us of, right?
Yeah.
In the real world. And you also mentioned another thing I said yesterday too, is he's always Daredevil, right? We don't get to see Matt Murdock really at all this season. There's no lawyering. Matt Murdock is missing, right?
Which is okay with me too.
Yeah. I just think, like, when if we're going to get this much Daredevil, then I'd like to see more action. Like to see,
right. But yeah, like, it brings you to that point. It's like, maybe some people like to watch these shows, right, to escape reality.
Mm-hmm.
And now when you're seeing art imitates life, maybe you don't want to see that when you're trying to escape reality. And you just want to sit on your couch and, like, live in fantasy land.
Right.
Or
it might be too much.
Right. Or maybe some people just want to binge it.
Exactly. That's a great point. I'm so glad you brought that up. That'll be interesting to see. And I think tonight is the penultimate episode. If I even said that word right, I always see it. I always read it and wonder if I'm saying it right. But next week's the finale. Let's just put it that way. So maybe in 2 weeks from now, we can look at, let's see what the ratings are.
Yeah. I'm not sure how they judge the ratings now, and it's not your traditional, broadcasting ratings for these shows, for these streaming shows nowadays. I feel like, I mean, it's a lot different now. So for them to judge the 50% drop off the bat, I feel like let's wait this out, because this season is not terrible at all. I've been enjoying it, at least personally, anyway.
Right.
Bullseye, oh man, I'm a Bullseye fan now. I would never have thunk of it.
And speaking of Bullseye, at the end of the show, we will give our top 5 villains, our top 5 favorite villains of all time. So could Bullseye, could Kingpin, could these guys make either of our lists? Stay with us.
I don't think anyone is gonna guess who my number one is. I guarantee it.
Good tease. Coming up shortly. All right, let's move on here, because Andy Serkis, who is a MCU veteran playing Ulysses Klaue in Black Panther, he was a one and done as Killmonger killed him off towards the end of the film. He's directing a new movie and doing the press rounds right now, and sat down with one of his stars, Iman Vellani, who plays Ms. Marvel, and may have dropped a massive spoiler during the interview when he told her, "I'm excited to see you in Doomsday." and she's not been named in the cast, and she immediately kind of, you can't say that. So was it tongue in cheek? Do we think he just let out a huge spoiler because he can, and he's no longer under the sniper rifle of Kevin Feige? What do you think about this? Are you excited to see Ms. Marvel in Doomsday? Do you think this is going to happen?
It's this is wild to me, because now I feel like, as like a wrestling fan and a huge advocate in creativity and AI, I feel like everything is a work nowadays. So for someone as a powerful presence like that to even put out there, that's a very important detail,
right?
That's like something in NDAs and contracts that can technically, like, fine you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This just might be like a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing, or they're just like trolling us.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess if he's no longer has any plans to be in the MCU, like, does that mean that, he probably doesn't have any of those contracts anymore and is able to just sort of do his own thing? Like, what is that, what sort of repercussions are there for a guy who maybe just kind of heard it in passing and doesn't have a contract?
That's true, but there's also lawsuits regardless.
Sure.
So they could still attack in that sense, but either way, whether they're trolling or not, that gets me super hyped.
Yeah. Well, I think the last time we saw her, she's recruiting Kate Bishop, to be in some sort of Young Avengers / Champions team up. I mean, this movie's going to be so bloated with, the Fox X-Men and any other Sony-verse characters they choose to include. I think, if anything, it'd be small, but and maybe take on a bigger role in Secret Wars. But I mean, this is kind of interesting news for sure.
Do you think they're just testing out the waters at this point because they want to see what sticks, and they want to push for new things, out with the old and in with the new, and seeing what people actually like? Because for those not familiar with this team, this is an introduction essentially, and not a lot of people know about them except for the OG guys like us. So this could also be testing out the waters.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing reshoots currently, I believe. So, it could be, a lot of working in a lot of, minor things here and there. It could be a couple of scenes or maybe some sort of appearance by Ms. Marvel. Right. What did you think of her series?
Ms. Marvel series?
It's one of the highest Rotten Tomato ratings of any MCU Disney Plus project.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow. Surprising.
I was surprised by that.
Yeah. I was entertained by it. Not my favorite, but I was entertained because I'm still stuck into like rooting for my favorite heroes, obviously. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm still stuck in Avengers and seeing where they go. So I wasn't ready for new characters yet when it came out. But I did get into it. It grew on me a little bit as the season went on. We'll see where it goes. But, like with any Marvel shows and movies, the cliffhanger always gets you.
Yeah. So
you always wait for that one. But yeah, we'll see, man. I'm still seeing where it takes us.
It felt like the Hannah Montana or iCarly of the MCU. It just didn't feel like it was for me. Some things are like I'm the demographic, and I just didn't feel like that I was the one for that. I dipped out midway, but I had to come back when to hear the X-Men theme in the finale.
Yeah. See, I feel like that's the thing, especially with that show, because they're trying to lure in the new audience too. Mm-hmm. You want to get kids kind of involved. You want new fans to emerge. So that could be Marvel's little take on that one. because I was saying before, it's easy for us to be fans with the characters we all love, but them introducing new characters and getting new fan base, especially, you know, starting it out as kids, they'll be long life fans, and that's what you hope to achieve at this point.
Yeah.
In the business side of things.
Right. Well, I guess we've got some time here, about 8 months, until we find out whether or not she made it into Doomsday.
Yeah.
The next thing we want to talk about is some potential casting news. Marvel's looking for their new towards their new mutant saga and casting for the X-Men and their villains, and who knows what sort of presence they'll have in Secret Wars as far as the new casting. You know, Sadie Sink is rumored to be Jean Grey in the new Spider-Man. Could she be in Secret Wars? It sounds like, according to reports, she is. But Marvel is interested, apparently, reportedly, in Euphoria's Hunter Schafer to play Mystique. Now, Euphoria is the biggest show on the planet right now. HBO has a mega hit with this show, and she's one of the bigger roles, or has one of the bigger roles. I think this is, as far as casting, I've seen Euphoria, I've seen Cuckoo, they play those roles so amazing. Super talented actor, and may be able to play sort of the androgyny of Mystique. It sounds like a good piece of casting to me if they're able to land Hunter Schafer.
Right. I mean, would she do it? I feel like she'd do it. Does she have any fandom over X-Men and Mystique?
That's a good question. I haven't heard any interviews as far as any type of interest in that genre or any history. There were the casting rumors, or maybe they were just fan cast, a lot of them, for Zelda in the upcoming Zelda movie, before we eventually found out the actors playing Link and Zelda in that film. So it ended up not coming down to Hunter Schafer. But there were these great, I don't know if they're photoshops or what, with her with the pointy ears and the long hair, and looked just like what you would imagine the video game to look like. I think with Mystique, and they're going to already kind of do this in Doomsday, is they're going to kind of lean away from the all nude, sort of like androgynous body, but no clothes, and go more comic accurate with the boots and the skull belt and the white, which I think is cool. I like that too.
Yeah, I mean, I love that trend. But look, does she did she have big shoes to fill? I would say so. I mean, Rebecca Romijn didn't really do much except for the action scenes, barely even spoke. I mean, that's the thing about Mystique, right? That's the name Mystique. She can turn to anyone she wants, and basically you can do that with the script, right?
Right.
She doesn't even have to be in there at all times.
Exactly. I mean, that's if you're signing up to play Mystique, you're also probably signing up that 50% of your screen time is played by the other actor who's playing whatever role you're imitating, right? So
I mean, it even surprised me in X-Men New Class how Mystique was just like Jennifer Lawrence was featured heavily as Mystique as its own character rather than forming to anyone else, Like you actually got to see who Mystique was, which was great between the New Class and the other X-Men that followed. And I feel like with this one, there's so many new characters that's being introduced that, I don't think Mystique is going to have that same role as it did with Jennifer Lawrence. I just don't. I just think this is going to be more comic book related, and she's just going to shapeshift to a lot of different other characters.
Right.
Yeah.
A bunch of other actors with blinking yellow eyes to show you that it's actually Mystique.
Right. Exactly. So I mean, kudos to her if she gets signed up, because that's one hell of a contract. And like you said,
Yeah.
50% of the time, you probably won't even be on set.
Well, I mean, I'm so excited for, these casting, choices to start to drop. I think, they Marvel was reported to have presence at Hall H in July. I know that Jake Schreier and company are in pre-production. I gotta think we're gonna start to get some casting news by that point.
Yeah. Also, you really think we're gonna get the casting, or we're gonna wait till
I think they start
Avengers come
filming early 2027. So that stuff's just gonna come out. I mean, you'd probably want to get ahead of it before those things start to leak. So
right?
I think we might get them.
Okay,
Maybe not like a full on like, here are your X-Men, such and such, but and like walk them out on stage. I mean, that'd be awesome, but I don't think they go that far. But I think you could get a couple of names.
right. And how young are they going to be? Like, rumors are saying that they're going to be really young X-Men. And
Yeah, I'm thinking it's like early 20s. I mean, if Sadie Sink is actually Jean Grey, and it seemed at this point all signs are pointing to that. That's I think that'd be a safe bet. I think they're all looking for early 20s on all these, except if they do recast Wolverine, which I really hope they do.
Yeah, who would you want to play Wolverine this time around?
That's a great question. I wouldn't be mad at Henry Cavill, honestly.
Yeah,
the Cavalrine.
I don't know if they might want to go younger though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I mean, he is supposed to be older and weathered. But I mean, but he's he's young. I mean, he's probably 20 years younger than Jackman.
Yeah, that's true.
Possibly.
Well, Jackman's probably not going to do it this time around. So.
Yeah, I think I love you. After Secret Wars, give me one more team up, whether it's X-Force or another Deadpool Wolverine or yeah, or if you want to do a Hulk Wolverine, that would be cool too. That would be awesome. But yeah, I think it's time to move on. And
yeah,
there's some creative ways out there online with some creators and writers talking about how they would introduce a new Wolverine.
Yeah, I mean, the Hulk Wolverine standalone movie would be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Marvel doesn't really do at all. Like, I wouldn't mind if they did standalone movies. Could be like one of those Dragon Ball Z movies. Just do a standalone movie and like that has nothing to do with the whole MCU. I wouldn't mind that at all.
All right, so we kind of teased this earlier. We're going to give you, so you'll get to know a little bit about us and how we love the genre. Our top 5 villains. This is the Villainz Lair, so let's start off with the villains. Let's talk about our top 5 villains in comics and fantasy, and that also includes sci-fi, so things like Star Trek, Star Wars, aliens and predators and all those types of things. Those all apply if those fit in there. How do you want to do this? Do you want to each go 5 down to 1? Like you go 5, I go 5, or do you want to rip through yours? I'll rip through mine and we'll kind of compare notes.
Oh man, you're actually in my thoughts right now because I was going to ask you the same thing.
You know what?
We could go 5 for 5, 4 for 4.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that.
But if we have if we repeat the same character and whatever, we could just go.
Yeah, I could just kind of quickly. Yep, yeah. I agree. That's all right. Who's your number 5?
My number 5 is you won't be surprised by this because he's a pretty popular one and he's super mainstream. Now he is anyway. Marvel Cinematic Universe's Thanos. I'm not talking about the comic books. I'm not talking about cartoons. I'm not or animation. I'm talking about Marvel Cinematic Universe Thanos. Why? Because one, he worked his ass off, to get to where he was, to capture the gauntlet, to capture just everything. Superhuman strength, durability, genius level tactical mind.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy has it all. I mean, yeah, he's evil, he's ruthless, but he also has a point of taking half the population of like maybe scaling down traffic. You know what I mean? Maybe
Mhm.
like lines at Disneyland would be a lot shorter. I mean, he kind of had the right idea there, but
He's
on
really
an
obsessed
evil
with
way.
perfect balance, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, let's not get dark here. I'm not going to get dark, but like in that world, I mean, he had an idea. It was just really evil and ruthless.
Yeah. For me, number 5, and there were a lot of times where I looked at this list and I was like, well, this is somebody who's kind of towed the line of villain and anti-hero and at times gone back and forth. But this person at their absolute peak for me, at their core, when they're at their best and most terrifying, they're a villain, and that's my favorite version of them, and that's Venom. And
Oh yes,
that's Venom, the animated version. That's especially Venom in the comics. The movie versions are way too anti-hero hero for me. I still enjoyed those movies at times in some parts, but nothing's better than the video game version with in Spider-Man 2
yeah.
and in the animated series and in the early comics, like those the 300s of the Amazing Spider-Man, when you're first seeing him and he is the antithesis and the of Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and just the hatred and level of pettiness and revenge that the symbiote has for Spider-Man and Peter Parker. Venom, to me, what a cool villain. McFarlane's version, was obviously very cool, but still kind of cartoony. And then when you had artists like Eric Larson, who really started to define the teeth and that long, slimy tongue, and that was the version to me that was like, wow. When you look at those Spider-Man covers, like the Hamlet homage where Venom's holding the skull with the tongue out, and
he had a hologram too, didn't he? Didn't he have
what's that?
He had a hologram cover too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So for me, he's number 5. At times he's number 1 for me, but I think I just dropped him to number 5 just because of the amount of lethal protector and anti-hero-ness in his bag.
Yeah, I loved using him in Marvel vs. Capcom too.
Oh yeah, super fun character. Marvel Rivals too. He's one of my favorite characters too.
Yeah, he's so fun. And also in the Spider-Man video games when Spider-Man has those powers, it's so fun.
Yep. And there's still some news this week that the Venom spinoff game is still being worked on. So
you should have just had a DLC with him. Oh, it would have been so great. But
all right, number 4.
All right, number 4. Let me give you a hint.
So I've seen you sipping from that all show, and I've wondered, is Darth Maul making an appearance? God, that's such a cool mug.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of people hated episode 1, right? A lot of people hated
Sure.
Star Wars.
But man,
1.
those parts with him are great.
Yeah, but he was the best thing in that movie. I mean, like you watch the latest Star Wars movies. I don't know. They're arguably the worst Star Wars trilogy out of all of them.
Sure.
But and it makes this movie even better with this villain even better. And dual lightsabers. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Anything else on top of that?
At last, we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi.
Yeah.
So good.
Acrobatic martial arts, highly skilled with signature double-bladed lightsaber, like I said.
Yeah.
And dark side of the Force. Come on, how can you hate? And not to mention his whole ambiance. He has aura as a villain. Like I'm not going to spoil anything yet from this animation. I just started watching it.
It's so good. I just got caught up last night. It's amazing.
Yeah, but the guy has aura. They should have saved this villain for later because he is also like a fan favorite out of the villains. And people love dressing up as him. So What's there to
Yeah.
dislike?
You even get like that quick little cameo at the end of Han Solo where you're just like, oh my god, he was pushing the buttons the whole time, and
Right.
oh, so good. So he is in my list, but a little higher coming up.
Oh, okay. Really?
So, but my number 4 is another Darth, and that's Darth Vader.
Of course.
And the reason Darth Vader is again so low is because he turned and he went back to I left the dark, and we seemingly killed Palpatine and the Emperor at the end of Return of the Jedi, kind of finding that ending the redemption arc. But he's on this list alone. I mean, there are so many cool moments in New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Don't get me wrong. But the scene at the end of Rogue One, where he goes ballistic on those guys in the hallway when he boards the ship.
Yeah.
And he kind of locks them into the hallway, and they're trying to get the key to Leia. And I mean, it's like a pitch black hallway, and then you see the red saber go out, and then he just manhandles them. And it is terrifying. It is the single greatest scene in Star Wars history. And I mean, I've all the edits online are amazing. Like whether it's throwing AC/DC under that or Metallica, and it's so good every time.
I mean, that's like classic cinematic style right there too, which was great. It's like one of those things that you can never forget. Like you come back to that, you come back to the scene, and it just goes from dark to like, whoa.
Yeah.
You remember, like, I don't remember that being as a kid, but I really appreciated it when I was going to film school, and I was just like, this is what all film professors should be teaching. The way, an introduction of a villain. It's like one of those things. But Darth Vader for you, do you like Anakin going into Darth Vader, or is it just like purely Darth Vader as your top villain?
I mean, I admired what they tried to do in the prequel trilogy as far as like show you the steps along the way to get to Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I don't think they were executed that great as far as in Attack of the Clones and some of the corny things and moments Anakin had. But I actually loved parts of Phantom Menace with young Anakin, even though the actor, say what you will about his acting at the time. They did do, I thought, a fun job of showing just different moments that kind of like, all right, well, I would be pretty upset too if I had to leave my mom at that age, and there were just other things that I thought foreshadowed the turn to the dark side, and but for me, it's just strictly Darth Vader.
It's funny how people love vintage, right? Because I remember during that time, people were hating on Hayden Christensen, how whiny he was as Anakin. But now that we're like, what, are we like a couple of decades over that now? And people love it. People crazy. Forget. People love those movies now, especially with the new installment in Star Wars that just came out. All of a sudden, those episodes 1 to 3 is like one of the greatest trilogies in the world. But at the time, people were hating on how whiny Hayden Christensen was as Anakin. But during the time, I always liked it. I never minded, especially episode 3.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of 3, who's number 3 on your list?
We were talking about her. Just before. And I think you can only guess who would be.
Do you have a prop?
No, I don't.
It looked like you were reaching into the drawer. Are we going Mystique here?
Yes, I was going to say if I could shapeshift, I would.
Wow, Mystique number 3.
Mystique number 3 for for perversion reasons. I mean, like, the Brotherhood's own Mystique. She is my number 3 because I would love her to be on my team. She would be the love of my life if she exists. My wife's on this one. Like she is my dream woman because obviously she can shapeshift to any woman I want.
I mean, that sounds like a good enough idea for me.
Yeah. I mean, she's great, and she. It seems like she never minds it either. You know, it doesn't hurt her to shapeshift. It's not like one of those. I don't know if you ever watched Heroes. There was a shapeshifter in there, and every time they shapeshifted, it felt like they were hurting.
Oh.
Like it was like it hurt to shapeshift. Mystique, it's like, you know, second nature to her.
Yeah.
You know, it's
even Wolverine's claws coming out hurts him, but she just does it so easily.
Even that, I mean, not to mention, she shapeshifts, but she also shapeshifts some abilities, which is crazy to me. Like, how is she able to do that?
I've never fully understood that.
Right? She's been able to do that. Like imagine she was also in the DC universe, and she would shapeshift out of nowhere to like poison Ivy, and all of a sudden she's poisoned.
Yeah.
and she is already a master at hand-to-hand combat and an expert spy. So like,
yeah.
How would you not love her? But yeah, love of my life, Mystique is number 3, and whether it's
number
Jennifer
3
Lawrence
for me,
or Rebecca Romaine, you know, good to me.
Number 3 for me, I'm going to kind of go out into the sci-fi world, and it's going to be the Yautja. It's going to be the Predator for me.
Ooh.
You know, the Arnold's best foe. I just love everything about the design, the storyline. That they go, they're hunters looking to, you know, for the next big game to kill, and I love the design. I love, you know, when the mask comes off, and I love how the different armors over the years, different movies we've seen.
Right.
You know, we finally got it in the most recent film in Badlands. We got sort of a protagonist version, heroic version of a Predator. But I mean, this is a guy that, God, his mom and dad are horrible people, and you know, so the species in as a whole is still pretty villainous. So for me, give me you're one ugly, you know what, and it's got to be the Predator for me at number 3.
Can you imagine like watching Predator as a kid with Jesse the Body and Arnold, thinking that this is going to be a whole world decades later?
I know.
Like such a big movie. I don't think Hollywood was even thinking that at the time.
No, there's some great behind the scenes stories about, you know, the guerrilla filming of that, and you know, some of the things with the actor who played Billy, that they had to have security around him at all times because he was such a wild card. He would just like beat people up, so they needed to protect the cast from him, and you know, there's some wild stuff went into making that movie.
Right? Hey, Hollywood, why don't you do a movie about making of the Predator?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like Anaconda version. We get Jack Black, we get Paul Rudd.
Yeah, right.
All right, number 2 for you.
My number 2 is none other than O'Doyle. No, I'm just kidding.
That was a good villain.
That was a good villain. No. He would be a runner-up. O'Doyle is not. There's always an O'Doyle for every friend group, right? But no, he's not my number 2 villain. My number 2 villain, going back to the X-Men world again, is none other than Magneto.
Yeah, great pick.
I mean, Magneto's powers is probably the powers I would choose out of anyone if I got 3 wishes from a genie. I would have Magneto's powers, bar none.
You know how many times I've fantasized in traffic having Magneto's powers just to part the freeway?
Yeah, that's exactly what I would use it for. I wouldn't even use it for anything evil. I would just part like cars and like get a parking spot during the holidays.
Exactly.
Not only his powers, right? Like, I mean, he kind of has a point too. Like, why he's doing what he's doing, everything he's been through with the Holocaust, and
Mm-hmm.
why, like, he's very political, obviously, right?
Sure.
Magneto's very political, and his stance is like justified for any villains. Like I was saying, as a Holocaust survivor, his dark nature, what he went through. But also he has legions of followers. They just follow him, so they know, like, they can lead them to their species and their mutant brotherhood. And he's not even alienating, the rest of the X-Men. He wants them to be in their team, but the X-Men wants to do good in the world and they want to team up with humans. But he wasn't like killing them right away. So he's justified. And like we were talking about his powers, like, it's hard to be.
Yeah.
Magneto.
I mean, he's the Malcolm X, for mutant rights to Charles's Martin Luther King. He is the more militant side of, they would be human rights, but he's mutant rights, but he was definitely, a metaphor for Malcolm X and his sort of, I wouldn't even call them extreme views, but just his views in general on his people.
Right, for sure. But yeah, that's my number two. And yeah, I just love Magneto so much. What's your number two?
So good. So this is where Darth Maul falls in for me at number two. And that's really because of where animation is taken him. Because we talked about earlier, like, just such like quick, whether it was the quick cameo at the end of Solo, and then, a 3 or 4 scenes, the fight scene at the end, which was awesome in Phantom Menace, but all the animated appearances in this series currently, that's really showing you the manipulative side of him and trying to, maybe turn this Jedi to his side to help him against the Empire.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sort of moved him into anti-hero, but it's sort of the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing. And now, he's scorned by the Empire. So now he's trying to take them down. But for me, just such a cool visual character. We talked about the double lightsabers. Like, now it seems like all these Inquisitors and all these other guys have them now, but he's the OG, the horns, everything. Just what a freaking cool design Darth Maul is. And I mean, I'm already gonna, after the show, I'm gonna get your information on where I can find that mug, because I need one of those.
I'll get you one next time I go to Disneyland.
Perfect.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we've gotten all the way. God, so cool. Is it textured too, right? Or is it just
ceramic textured? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I thought the horns had like bumps.
Oh, it does have bumps.
Nice. Yeah, that's so cool. All right. Well, we've got all the way down to number one. Are we going to have the same character? Let's see. Who is your number one?
I doubt that we're going to have the same character, because you will never. All right. I got my little notes here. Why? Actually, you know what? I don't even need notes. I will just tell you offhand why I think he's my number one, and why people will not ever guess who my number one is. Before I tell you who it is, here's a surprise. Before I tell you who it is, I'll tell you why I think he's number one. Because technically he won, right? People are in their phones all the time, stuck in their phones, always watching social media or whatever they're doing with their phones. They're always in
Agent
this gadget.
Smith?
What?
Agent Smith?
No.
Oh.
But everyone's always watching their phones, whether it's TV or media, anything. Like, everyone's stuck in their devices. And you know why everyone's stuck in their devices? Because this villain created a contraption and this big, giant satellite-like blender that goes in people's heads, and then they're tuned to it and just totally like in awe of these little gadgets. And you know who it is? Is Batman Forever's The Riddler.
Oh man,
what he had, it was ahead of its time, right? Batman Forever. What he was trying to accomplish in that whole movie is basically what people are doing now. right?
Yeah.
Like he had this contraption where like people were tuned into. Although at the time it was a big TV, and they would just like tune in. This is big TV, and like radio waves would just make them like concentrated in this one big tube. Except now it's a cell phone. But he won. He won the whole battle, and Batman was not able to stop him. So Riddler is my number one. And not to mention Jim Carrey was a blast watching his
Yeah.
last be Riddler. But
He was so good.
he really was. I mean, this is a surprise because I was only thinking of like how people are stuck in their ways in their phones and TVs. As I don't mind right now because they should be watching this podcast on their phones. But but the idea at the time, who would have thought that this would actually be a feat of his, you know?
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, he like channeled that like Adam West Batman energy, you know, like he just was super ahead of his time, and he also was an homage to some of the stuff that came before.
Yeah.
And then what Paul Dano did with his version, you know, really was the dark side of things.
Right. And if you go in the comics right now, you know, they hire Riddler as a detective.
Mm-hmm.
So because he has that kind of mind where he can like figure out like, you know, these murders and villains and how he can catch who's doing what. So, you know, he has a mind of a detective.
Uh-huh.
Like Hannibal.
Yeah, like Hannibal. It's a great comparison.
Yeah. So yeah, who's your number one?
All right, this is gonna seem like low-hanging fruit, but I promise this is the guy. This has been the guy, and that is Victor Von Doom, Dr. Victor Von Doom for me. That is my number one guy. Obviously, couldn't be more excited that we're finally getting a cinematic version, even though 2 years ago when the announcement was made, I was one of the ones who was really vocal about not liking the Robert Downey Jr. casting for this. Felt like, you know, a gimmick, and to take your greatest villain and to sort of like make it a gimmick, or I've since come around, by the way, but I had casting ideas and thoughts like
Who was your
what's
idea?
his name from Dune, and from No Country for Old Men. What am I spacing on?
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
But you know, something older. You know, Robert is not the tallest guy, and to me, Doom has always been drawn as a big. He's obviously covered in armor, but he's still a big, imposing guy, and you know, just hope that they're able to kind of show off that toughness in Doomsday. Now I know that there could be some sort of retconning the Tony Stark character for this to find some sort of connection. Because if you're going to have the same face, you know, it's not like in the past where the same actress who played a character in Captain Marvel, who was an alien with a blue face, is now a character and a member of the Eternals. You know, that those are things that, you know, makeup, you're like, oh, I didn't even know. And it's also not the face of Marvel. So if you're going to take the guy who was the guy for 10 years in Tony Stark and Iron Man and make him the biggest, baddest villain in your entire universe, there better be some sort of connection. I don't think we're going to find it in Doomsday. I think it comes out in Secret Wars. But man, the magic, the science and tech, the way he combines everything from comics to being God Emperor, and I'm sure we're obviously headed that way in the movies. He's been the Sorcerer Supreme recently in comics. Just, I mean, the jack of all trades and the baddest dude on the planet. Give me Dr. Doom.
I mean, I hope that's how it starts in the film, you know, like literally with him, like how he turned into Dr. Doom. But yeah, you're right. There should be a connection because Tony Stark is what started the whole Marvel MCU, right?
Yeah.
So for them to just pivot and be like, "Oh, Robert Downey Jr., you are the new Doctor Doom.
You are the guy.
You are the guy." I don't know where they were going with it. I hope they knew where they were going with it, and not just just doing it for the sake of like shock to all the fans. But
Right.
yeah, no, I'm waiting. He's an amazing villain, and I hope we really get more into his character. He's not just a villain against the Fantastic Four, but for the Avengers also,
Mm-hmm.
and how he's gonna handle everyone, what kind of followers he's gonna have, because Thanos has different people by his side, including Loki at first, and then later on, obviously, what ended up happening, Loki turning sides.
Right.
But what kind of team up is Doctor Doom gonna have? Because
Yeah,
surely,
where he's going to see variants and evil versions of the characters we love. It'd be interesting.
yeah, is he? Yeah, I mean, like originally wasn't it going to be Kang until stuff happened? So I don't know how they're even going to introduce that, but hopefully, maybe we'll find answers in Spider-Man.
Yeah. Let's start there. They got to do something.
We might, yeah, or at least maybe a hint. But I mean, what I love most about Doctor Doom, aside from his aura, is just his like how he looks in general. I'm wearing the hat now. It's a collab with the Knicks and MF Doom, but like obviously it's a big influence from Doctor Doom.
Mhm.
But like just the look, it just captivates.
I know.
Right? How does one look just totally captivate you?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so good. So good. When we saw it's this tiny glimpse, at the end of Fantastic Four, when he was kneeling down to Franklin, and hopefully we get to see this trailer soon.
Right. I think we will. Like you were saying, maybe Hall H, San Diego Comic-Con this year. Marvel has a big, they'll probably announce some stuff. So we'll see. But you were also talking about like, Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, Doctor Doom, comparison. Obviously, it's not a big effect like Fantastic Four's Chris Evans to being Captain America, or maybe even like Aquaman the Lobo.
Yeah.
So they better have quite a connection, which
Right.
I feel like they would, because all of a sudden, oh, Tony Stark, you look just like.
Sure. And it seemed like a wasted opportunity if you can't at least have Peter see his face and completely bug out, so to speak.
Right. But that's also the thing, right? Alternate universes, they can always cheat. And that's why I hate about alternate universe. Like they can literally cheat with anything. So
yeah.
So that could be an answer too. So we'll see. I'm excited though.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for today's show. You can expect plenty more, with Alvin and I, weekdays, talking stuff. What did you got? Oh, I didn't know if you were going to add something.
Oh, no.
Oh, but yeah, this was awesome. If you want more stuff like this, if you like what you're watching, you like what you're hearing, subscribe to the channel. Hulk smash that like button, and really helps the channel with the likes, the subscribers. Share it with your friends. If you think that there's some debates, hit us in the comments. What do you think? What's your top 5 villains list? What did you think of our list? Plenty of these things and these debates and discussions to come on this show. Really appreciate you. If you're here with us, you've been with us for almost an hour now, and we appreciate you sticking with us. Thank you, and we'll see you in the Villainz Lair next time. Goodbye.